welcome to ET Studios AI Horizons in association with ETCIO. I'm Shilpa Ratnam, your host of this show, which explores how AI is impacting and transforming industries. We used to say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, but now beauty is literally at your fingertips. You can add it to cart. But what exactly are you going to add to cart? To talk about that, I have a trailblazer of AI in the beauty industry, Manoj Shinde, the founder of Orbo AI. Thank you for being on our show, Manoj.
Thanks, Shilpa. Thank you for having me here.
What do you think has been the effect of AI in the beauty industry until now?
I think I would segregate the impact of AI in three parts. I think if we go back the era of prior to 2016, there has been a lot of work that has happened on predictive analytics. And predictive analytics were helping you in terms of sorting certain capabilities, analyzing your existing data as to how you can present that data. And then fast forward 2018 onwards, that's when you really started to see the emergence of try-on experiences coming in the market. Largely, it has actually come from China and Taiwan side of the story. But eventually, it started to make sense in Europe and US as well. So it has catapulted into a global sort of initiative. What we've seen in the past 1.5 year is the next stage of that experiential economy or experiential retail, as we call it, in the form of how we can further leverage the technology such as generative AI and enable customers to not only provide their context, intent, and preferences, and join these experiences with those fusion and provide a complete linear experiences to people. I think that's where we are today in terms of generative AI.
Now, when it comes to beauty GPT, right, you have these sort of looks that are curated and a user can choose from, but Facetune has also done that.
Yeah.
So, what sets you apart from the other products available in the market, like other websites as well? You do have a try on feature, like a lipstick finder feature. So, when I come on to Beauty GPT, what can I find that I haven't seen before?
I'm glad you asked that question to me. I think there's tremendous amount of opportunity with Beauty GPT because it's been an unexplored area as we think about it. Uh, Previously, if you see most of the try-on capabilities that were existed in the market, including our own product, we had DIY try-on products in the makeup as well as hair and other categories as well. What I felt is that most of the customer, or I would really pinpoint 2 to 3% of people would actually come on to any website or mobile app that is providing this kind of services and product. They will utilize it once, twice, and 3 times, but really get overwhelmed with the possibilities of customization of a particular look. Now that all depends on the education and understanding that you know as a person. And in such situation, you ended up moving from those platforms and going for YouTube and Instagram Reels to find out what's the next influencer is talking about and getting those inspirations in your daily life. But again, at the same time, Instagram and YouTube has been a unidirectional platform. So that means if Selena Gomez is trying on something on her face, that's not necessarily it's going to look good on your face as well. So there was a disconnect as we felt that there has to be a concoction of themes from a DIY products to understanding context, preferences, and the facial attribution of the user, and then really understanding the intelligence layer, combining all three of them. If we were able to provide a seamless service to customer, I think that will take away that overwhelm part of the story. It'll take away the questions that are largely focused on education and understanding of something. And the third, that you don't have to really look outside for inspiration. So Beauty GPT really sets that part, apart from every other competition that's out there. It allows you to express yourself, right? And then internally in Orbo office, we call this as an expression platform where anybody and everybody can actually come in and express their views and express their prompts in a manner that they understand themselves, right? So, for example, Shilpa, you could come in and say that tomorrow afternoon I'm going for a commercial event. I'm wearing a purple bodycon dress and a silver jewelry. What kind of makeup should I wear? Now imagine tomorrow afternoon, a purple bodycon dress, a wedding or a commercial event, and a silver jewelry. there are four different contexts and preferences that you actually define in the manner of literally 200 characters, right? But AI is able to understand each one of them and relate back to our nine algorithms that have been built to understand each one of those preferences to relay you experience in the form of three different looks. Okay. Right? And it's completely automated, so you don't really have to do anything in that case. And that's what sets us apart.
Now, when you become more prolific and everyone starts using you, my concern is, are we going to be seeing cookie cutter looks all around?
Now we've taken a conscious decision of not to get swayed by the cookie cutter looks, rather focus on the customer centricity, because our customer who's actually coming on to Beauty GPT, it's not looking into piles of looks that are already being created by thousands of people. They are coming to Beauty GPT with their intent and their preferences and their expressions, right? Now, how we serve them individually is our current focus, is right. So we're not build a platform for one to many, but it's a platform built for one to one, right? So I want to make Beauty GPT as your personal beauty advisor. That's how we look at it.
So does it all depend on the prompt? Like, do I have to be very intelligent with my prompt to get the best look?
No, absolutely not. I think you could be as simple in your prompt, saying that suggest me something for wedding.
Okay.
Now, I don't think you require any intelligence to write this prompt.
Okay.
Or you could just say that I'm going for an interview, suggest me something. Or I'm going for a coffee run, I'm in the office, what can I do? That's how simple it is. And that is why I said it's an expression platform that allows you to express your natural instinct in a manner that you generally speak to your friends or your besties and your buddies.
So now AI is plagued by hallucination, but also the other dual problem of bias. Now, how do you eliminate both in Beauty GPT?
So, I mean, behind the scene, as I mentioned during multiple such, appearances wherever that I have gone and spoken about, that facial attribution is the key element of our technology. So we use something called skin tone recognition, right? Apart from skin tone recognition, we also have something called skin analyzer, right? So we use multiple different tech to really arrive at a solution that is apt and personalized for you, right? So for us, it really doesn't matter, whether you come from, a certain color background or, you come from a really affluent background. For us, it is a one-to-one relationship, as I've already mentioned. So we treat you with the same amount of interest as we would treat anybody else, right? And when we build this system, these there are a lot of guardrails that have already been put in to make sure that it does not really go outside and it hallucinates beyond what it's supposed to.
Now, when it comes to beauty trends world over, how do you see India setting itself apart?
I think we're not that far. I believe if you would have asked me this question 15 years back, I would have said that look, we didn't have the kind of exposure, we didn't have the kind of speed of internet, we didn't have the kind of prolific a change in the industry where we had about 300 startups in starting of 2011. There's about 1 lakh startups now that exist in India. That's the kind of evolution that we have actually gone through, right? People are traveling more. Indian travelers are becoming the top in the industry, right? So as people start to step outside of their comfort zone, they start to travel, they start to connect with global people, and because of internet, people are following a lot of global celebrities as well. So the knowledge does not remain in a confined zones of certain territories, right? The knowledge has started to travel. And because of that, I think even from the beauty perspective, we're already there, if not at the same level as our counterparts in other parts of the world.
Do you think consumerism when it comes to beauty has increased? Because earlier, perhaps women would have a few products in their arsenal, not enough. But now I find perhaps their shelves are stacked with products because of FOMO.
I think yes and no. It also means see, there's a different movement has also started to see, and I've seen up close with some of my friends. They started doing more of a declutter. So they've seen their vanity has been filled with 40 other products. Some of these products have not been utilized for 4 months or about a year or so, right? They go stale. They probably not, be in the same functional, capacity as they could have been. So I think there's a declutter moment that has started to happen. But on the other side, there's also a fear of missing out that, somebody else is using an X brand and I should use it. So because of that, you will see influx of purchase that happens, whether you need it or not. So you have to deal with it. Now there are influencers, but you also mentioned de-influencers. What is the sort of impact they are having? See, look, I think I'm for influencers as well, as long as you actually relay the information with the same kind of trust and integrity. I would always want people to actually come forth and provide that education. What started to happen in the influencer community is because of fast making money through sponsorships and brands and all of that without really analyzing the product, whether the product has good impact or bad impact or would not really yield a result. It has been actually given in the hands of the influencers, right? So somewhere I think from the integrity standpoint, the influencers should pick and choose, what products that they should be supporting, because a lot of people actually look up to them and they really imbibe their stories and lifestyle that they recommend. I think it becomes an innate responsibility on their head to choose the right product and right service to take it in front of the audiences. So, would you say currently AI is more honest than influencers? Absolutely, because it's unbiased, right? It's unfettered. It is. Is it unbiased, or are you just talking about it is bias? Unbiased because the way it is, as I mentioned, we're still looking at one to one. Especially if I talk about Beauty GPT, I can't really talk about other AI platforms. But for us, I think it's unbiased and unfettered, right? Imagine if you're going to a Tata store earlier and saying that I want to buy something. The salesperson actually approaching you and selling you products, saying that, ma'am, there's a 20% discount on this, and then there's a 30% discount on that, and there's an offer going on 2+1, right? Now, he did not really make a conversation with you, ma'am. What's your need? What are your preferences? Without understanding, the current focus has been a push rather than understanding the need of the customer, right? After allocating a magic mirror, which is now becoming the talk of the town in the offline retail industry as well, people are approaching to the mirror in the same way that you would actually approach to somebody who you trust. Because of unbiased and unfettered decisions and recommendation that you get through mirrors, it'll be easier for them to then rely upon the systems. But the way I see it, right, these systems will augment and help those salespeople to provide better service and experiences, right? So one of the myths that we typically talk about, the job displacement. I think we're for augmenting health rather than the job displacement. And our mirrors will actually make the life easier for the sales connoisseurs or the sales assistant who are there in the store. Imagine if you have 1,000 SKUs inside the store. It is humanly impossible to remember the ingredients or the strength and benefits of that product. Then how do you really, recommend something? So the AI will take the heavy lifting of the recommendation part, but the human empathy or the coordination or relevance, that part will come from the sales assistants who are there at the shop floor. So I think that is the part where we see a lot of human oversight and the dependency between AI and human coming along. Now you've given us a glimpse into the future about how AI is going to transform beauty, and I would love to know how is the roadmap looking for Orbo AI. What's next for you in the future? I think we set ourselves on a great target. We launched Beauty GPT with one category, which is cosmetics and makeup. I think our intention is to, as I mentioned earlier, that we want to become the meta of the beauty industry, which will drive the data experiences and all kinds of engagement to drive the hyper personalization. So you will see skin and hair quickly being added to the same ecosystem, which will then cover everything under the beauty. But nevertheless, we would also explore other areas in the lifestyle segment as well, because that is something that relates to human and are closely watching those areas as well. So that can potentially be part of our roadmap as well.
So we'll also be closely watching Orbo AI. Thank you so much for a very engrossing conversation. It was a lot of fun to hear about the different facets of beauty and how AI is changing the entire industry. Thank you so much for your time as well, Manoj.
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you for having me, and good luck with the rest of the show.
Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. Remember to stay tuned to AI Horizons to explore how AI is impacting every facet of your life.